How's it going, guys? Eat My Diction here with a hardcore team deathmatch on Jungle, and got another movie review for you guys. I finally saw The Last Airbender after much trepidation. I did not want to see it, and I'm kind of regretting seeing it. I didn't pay for it. Watched it online because why the fuck would I pay to see that? And I haven't been a huge Shyamalan fan for a while now, as most people haven't been. I saw The Sixth Sense when it first came out, and I thought, hey, this is pretty fucking awesome. Unbreakable was pretty good too, and then after that, just downhill. And I'm not a fan of the show. I never watched it. I didn't really know anything about the plot aside from a few things here and there, and some things I picked up on reading reviews of the movie, which were never favorable. And they were right. This movie is awful. It gives awful a bad name. Like it just sucks so much. I'm pretty sure watching a back alley abortion would be less painful than watching this movie again. I am completely serious. And it's just like everything they tried to do, they just got completely fucking wrong. And I guess what they were trying to do was cram an entire 12 episode arc into a 100-minute movie. That is not possible without leaving out lots of information, which they do. About halfway through the movie, I completely lost track of what the fuck was going on. And, it didn't help that none of the primary actors knew what was going on either, apparently. They all seemed to be drugged up or something. Like, it was honestly kind of creepy. It wasn't so much wooden acting as it was just non-existent acting. Even from Dev Patel, the guy from Slumdog Millionaire and Skins, who I like. I think he's a talented actor, but obviously he was given no direction, so he's just kind of floating through this movie, saying lines as they come to his head. And speaking of the lines, I have never heard so much exposition crammed into tiny ass sentences. I mean, it's flabbergasting. You will sit there and your jaw will be on the floor wondering what the fuck were they thinking. Every single time an actor opens up their fucking mouth to say something, they're trying to describe 100 things to you, the audience member, because they have to make up for the fact that the writer director is trying to get all of this information out at once, essentially. So, if a character has to sit down and meditate, they're like, oh, I'm going to go sit down and meditate because that's what my ancestors did. And they'll give this long-ass diatribe giving you the history of his ancestry and shit like that. And God forbid any of these characters have feelings at any moment, because they will tell you right to your face how they're feeling and why they're feeling that thing. There's no such thing as subtext in this movie. They're not so much throwing subtext out of the window as they are raping it to death. It is atrocious. And I wanted to find this movie like so bad it's good, because I love watching like hilariously bad movies, like old Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, or The Room, or Ben and Arthur. If you've never seen those, go fucking watch them. They're hilarious. I just couldn't get into it. I mean, I was laughing at how stupid everything was, but at the same time, I was hurting deep down, because this was just... Movies like this should not be released. And movies like this should not cost $100 million to make. And that's the thing that pissed me off the most about this movie. I could give a shit if it's a terrible movie. I watch terrible movies all the time. The fact of the matter is, this movie cost $100 million on top of probably another 40 or 50 million to market the whole goddamn thing. And it's right there. That's $150 million. Now, let's put this into context. Requiem for a Dream. Whether you liked it or hated it, it's a unique film. Cost $1.5 million. $1.8 million to make. Primer. It came out a few years ago. Awesome little sci-fi flick. $7,000. Cost them $7,000. They were very, very, very diligent about keeping apparently they cut out only 2 minutes of footage. Like, they're very good about making sure they get the right takes and everything. So, that's not the point. Well written, well acted, well directed. $7,000. So what pisses me off is that there's all this money going into crap. We all know this. But that money could be dispersed and fund hundreds and hundreds of smaller, character-driven, story-driven films that eventually make money. Because I know this is an industry. I know this. This is the only reason a movie gets released is to make money. You know, even if it's like Little Miss Sunshine or something, which, you know, they produced independently and they cost them very little money. The reason you got to see that movie was because someone wanted to make money off of it. Someone wanted to buy it from the people that produced it and go out and sell it to the American public or the international market, whatever. And I get it. I totally get it. But it's just, there's like so much proof out there that those kinds of movies can, you know, make money. That's the end result, making money. And it's just so frustrating that like studios are still trying to like pump as much energy and money into films that are not satisfactory one bit, but they make their money back. Like Avatar I think it made its money back. I don't know. I'll have to check Box Office Mojo. But yeah, that's my whole thing. Is as a filmmaker, that's my whole thing. All right, so this game's about over. Gonna go ahead and replay this pretty awesome last kill. That's what you get when you put your sensitivity up to 7. All right, you guys have a good one. Peace out. Can't believe I just said peace out. Sorry about that.